Take two. So I was trying to record this on YouTube Live, and it lasted a few seconds, and that was it. So I've recently done a lot of work to my 2015 Jeep Wrangler JKU Sahara. It's got some upgrades, but it has 100,000 miles on it, and it's now it's 11 years old. It's 2026. But so I had, made sure I had fresh fluids and everything else. So I changed everything, like the oil, transfer case, transmission, differential fluid, coolant, all of that. And when I changed the coolant, I decided I'm just going to put I'd received a code. Engine light came on. It was a P0128, which is the coolant doesn't match the thermostat setting. So I went ahead and went to my local auto parts store, bought a thermostat, because the Mopar thermostats run you anywhere from $55 to almost $80. That's crazy. This thing should only cost you $10-15. So I bought one at my local auto parts store, and you can buy either a complete housing with the thermostat, or you can buy just the thermostat. So I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with the housing. So I just bought a new thermostat. Came with an installation tool, which is basically a heavy-duty cardboard tube about the size of a toilet paper roll, maybe cut in half, but it's thick and strong. And that's designed to compress the spring and get it to go inside these tabs, which then holds the thermostat spring-loaded in. After, a couple months, the code came back. And I thought, okay, maybe it's the coolant temperature sensor. So I went ahead and replaced that. And I didn't cheap out this time. I bought a Mopar coolant temperature sensor. So instead of spending $13, I spent $50, and that's on Amazon. Installed it, didn't take too long. It was pretty easy. You remove the inner fender well, a couple clips, 2 screws, a bolt, and then there was one rivet, which I thought about drilling out, but I just started prying on the plastic on the back of it, and the rivet broke. And then I replaced all the body clips and replaced that rivet with a body clip. It's all great, works just fine. Didn't take long at all to do it, including running up and down the stairs a dozen times, getting this tool, that tool. It was less than 2 hours. And if I knew exactly the tools I needed and exactly what I was going to run into and had everything already set up in the garage, I probably could have done it in half hour, 45 minutes. It's pretty simple. A couple days later, engine light came on again, same code, P0128. Coolant temperature sensor below thermostat setting. And I noticed it was taking a long time for the engine to get warm. Finally made it up to where the needle on the gauge was straight up and down, so it should have been operating temperature, but it wasn't as hot as it should be blowing out of the heater. It was, it was chill. It was upper 30s, and I was able to warm up a little bit driving to work. The engine cooling fan never came on. So I thought, okay, I didn't buy a Mopar thermostat, and I know Jeeps like Jeep parts. They don't like aftermarket parts. But $80 for a thermostat versus $18 for a thermostat. I can redo this several times before I reach that $80 mark and say, okay, I should have bought a Mopar thermostat. So on Amazon, I bought an upgraded unit. Instead of a plastic housing with the thermostat in it, I bought the aluminum housing with the thermostat in it. And that ran me, somewhere between $20 and $30, because they're ranged in price. I forget which one I bought. It was either the $20 or $30. I want to say it was the $20 one. Came in 2 days later. Nice unit. It's all aluminum. So I'm taking the hoses off. And I expected this to be a 20-minute job. It actually was 40 minutes, including running downstairs to get a screwdriver I didn't realize I needed, repositioning the bucket to catch the coolant, and then putting all the tools away and washing my hands. Everything's back together. I'm topping off the fluid, and I'm burping the system. What I discovered when I took the original housing out was there was nothing wrong with the aftermarket thermostat that I put in. However, the original 100,000 mile Jeep housing, this tab here, doesn't look like this one. It broke off. It got stuck in here, right here, holding the thermostat open. That's why the thermostat wouldn't close. Thus, I was running an open system. So the thermostat didn't fail. Luckily, none of these parts got sucked into the engine or anything else. They're all right there. Got everything out. Got all this out. I kept the thermostat because there's nothing wrong with the thermostat or the spring or the gasket or the little spring retainer that goes underneath these clips. Nothing wrong with them. So I kept them for future use. Hopefully I won't have to do this anytime soon. Again. But, so my advice to anyone that has to replace a thermostat in a Jeep JK or any Jeep with 100,000 miles that uses this type of housing, this plastic housing with these tabs that hold the thermostat in, spend a few more dollars, and at minimum, if you're going to stay with Mopar, that's fine, but get the complete unit. It's only a few dollars more than just the thermostat. In fact, I don't even know if Mopar sells just the thermostat. You may only get the complete unit with the thermostat. If you're going to go aftermarket, save a few bucks. Maybe don't buy just the thermostat from your local auto parts store. They sell the plastic unit with the thermostat installed. It's only a few dollars more. Talking $20. I think I paid maybe $18 or something for the thermostat. And then for $30, I think it was, they sold the entire unit with the thermostat in. Or on Amazon, for $20, I got an aluminum unit, which should be theoretically stronger than this plastic. Plastic goes through heat cycles that then become brittle, and that's probably why this broke. 100,000 miles. So, yeah, maybe go and spend the money. And I'm not talking huge money. It's still cheaper than a Mopar unit. I don't know if it's going to last 100,000 miles. I don't know when the last time this thermostat was changed. I bought this used 2 years ago with 82-ish thousand miles on it. So I've only put roughly 20,000 miles on this Jeep in the last 2 years, and I've spent $8,000 in repairs. It's still cheaper than buying a new Jeep built up to what this Jeep is. So whenever I had to take it to a shop to do things that I couldn't do because of physical ailments or was actually a 2-person or 3-person job with specialized tools that I didn't have and it's just me, I went and did an upgrade for only, if replacing what was there was going to cost me $2,000, another $200, I got a major upgrade. So I no longer have an open differential in the rear. I now have a limited slip. I was thinking about putting a locker in the front when and if that ever failed or if I ever decided I was going to upgrade. But I got to thinking about it. I think I'll probably put a limited slip in the front. It's basically an automatic locker. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to run extra lines. I don't have to run air. I don't have to run electric. It'll just do it on its own. And I've been real happy with the limited slip in the rear. I have felt it lock up when it needed to. It's great for daily driving. It's not locked up when I don't want it to. And everything's fine. So, yeah, so I have a 2015 Jeep Sahara 4-door JKU with all the Jeep aftermarket upgrades. It's got the Jeep Performance Fox shocks. It's got the 35-inch tires with aftermarket rims, side steps, winch, great big heavy-duty bumpers. Look at that. That's a beast. Look at those bumpers. Absolutely. Same thing on the rear. Got a great big rear bumper. I mean, this thing weighs nearly 6,000 pounds. Okay, it'll rival any 3/4-ton Chevy pickup truck as far as weight goes. It's got the Steer Smarts steering components up front, heavy duty. Basically turns this into a 1-ton with as far as the steering components are concerned. But the axles, it's a Dana 44 rear, and it's a, I don't know, what's the front, a 30 or a 40, whatever it is. I forget. I run 373 gears because it's a daily driver. It's also manual transmission, so I can control when to shift it. Some people say that, oh, especially if you've got a manual transmission, you need, 510 or 456 gears. Or no, you don't. It's a manual transmission. You shift it when you want to. You shift it when you need to. Never had a problem. This is my third Wrangler. All my Wranglers have always been manual transmissions and soft tops. Always. That's the only way I'll do a Wrangler. And they've also always been four-wheel drive. There was a time when you could get these in two-wheel drive. I thought that was stupid. Why would you offer a Wrangler in two-wheel drive? You have no business buying it. My opinion. You want to be a poser and say, look, I got a Wrangler. Okay. Don't buy a two-wheel drive. Buy the four-wheel drive. I don't know why they ever made a two-wheel drive Wrangler. So, it's an easy fix. Half an hour, basic hand tools. An 8 millimeter to loosen up a couple hose clamps. Torx bit to remove the housing, the thermostat housing. I don't know what size regular socket. I tried putting a 10 on it. It was a little bit big, so it may have been SAE. But I said, well, I've got the Torx bit. It's right here in the toolbox. I know it works because I used it just a couple months ago. So I went ahead and used the Torx bit on it. I also have a coolant burper now instead of having to rely on this little burp valve right here, which is plastic on this, but the new one is metal. And you can put a socket on it and burp it that way. But so far I've had good luck with this burper. It's starting to bubble a little bit, so it's getting the air out. So can you see it? Let's see. Yeah. It'll start getting some great big bubbles and start to steam, and it'll be starting to get hot. I can see a little bit of steam coming out of it now. It was like $20 for that. Comes with various fittings for the radiator cap. It's got a plunge to stop when you're done burping. There's still coolant in there. You can plunge it, take it over to your overflow, pull the plunger out, let it drop into the overflow. Look them up. Coolant fill burpers, or I forget what it's called. $20. They go up to $40, $50, but I got some $10 ones. But whatever. Got the 3.6 Pentastar. I mean, it runs great. Smooth as can be. Love my manual transmission. Had a clutch go out. Rear end broke. Don't know why any of that stuff happened. Every time I plan on taking it off-road, something breaks before I ever get off-road. Gotta turn this off. It's starting to burp. Gonna burp over. Hopefully I don't overflow. It's gonna overflow on me. Make a mess. Okay, see, it's starting to burpity burp and splash a little bit, but I caught it in time. Thermostat's opening up. Everything's gonna go where it belongs. So the coolant expands with heat. Just because that little burp funnel is starting to fill up doesn't mean there's a problem or that you got too much or whatever. It expands as it heats up. So when the thermostat opens up and drains it back down to where it needs to be, eventually I'll put the plunger in and put the excess either back in the bottle or into my overflow container. Easy peasy. I had meant to, I didn't really mean to. I thought about filming these things as I do them, but there's a million videos out there of people doing this stuff. I thought I'd just do it real quick, which hasn't been real quick. I think it's taken me longer to do this video than it did actually do the work. But yeah, so it's done. Just got to let the coolant settle back down, and I'll reset the code, and I'll take it for a drive and see if everything's good. It should be, and if I have to burp it again, then so be it. All right, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll bring some more content like this, because I actually do a lot of my own mechanical work. So yeah. All right, thanks for watching.